is in my life, so I hustle.
What's up everyone, and welcome to IT Hustle. We'll be continuing the series exploring the Blue Team Field Manual. In the last video, we had some fun with the hosts file. In this video, we're getting into using Windows AppLocker. So without further ado, let's get it. AppLocker is a security feature in Microsoft Windows operating systems, starting from Windows 7 and Windows Server 2008 R2, that allows administrators to control and restrict which applications and executables are allowed to run on a computer or within a network. It is primarily used as a security mechanism to prevent the execution of unauthorized or potentially harmful software, thereby enhancing the overall security of Windows-based environment. So let's head over to the lab and implement this. All right. So we're going to leverage group policy to implement AppLocker. So we're going to open up Server Manager, go to Tools, Group Policy Management. All right. Now that we have that open, I'm going to expand Group Policy Objects, and we're going to create a new one. We call this AppLocker Policy. Click on OK. And then I'm going to right click and edit. And then we're going to navigate Computer Configuration, Policies, Windows Settings, Security Settings. Here, let's make this bigger. Expand this here. All right, so Security Settings, Application Control Policies, and then from there we have AppLocker. So once we click on AppLocker, I'm going to click Configure Rule Enforcement, and we're going to do this for executable rules. So basically what we're doing is enforcing AppLocker here. This is where you enforce it. So if you want to enforce it for executable rules, this is where you do it. And then you can also do audit only, to where it'll basically look but not touch. It'll only report back the activity. That's if you want to kind of give it a little test run before you actually implement it. But today we're just going to straight up enforce it. All right, so I'm going to click OK. All right, so I'm going to expand AppLocker here. Then for executable rules, I'm going to select this, right click, and then create the default rules. Now the reason you want to, you see how they pop up automatically. The reason you want to do that is so the executable files that are needed to run the operating system can actually run. You don't want to lock it down, so it's very important that you do that. All right, so let's right click on executable rules again, and this time we're going to click create new rule. All right, so we're going to click next here, and we're going to make a deny rule. And the user group, we're going to do everyone. So you can do everyone in the enterprise, or you can break it down to specific security groups or departments if you have those particular needs. But for this demo, we're just going to deny everyone a particular application. So I'm going to click next, and we're going to do a path. All right, and we're going to do browse folders. So the application that we're going to block today is going to be Adobe, because Adobe's bad today. We're going to pick on Adobe today. All right, so program files Adobe. And the reason we're doing it this way is so we block everything in the Adobe folder, because there's going to be other executables part of this application. So we want to do it at the root, so everything gets blocked for the application in question that we want to block. All right, now that we have that set, I'm going to go ahead and click on next. You can do exceptions as well if you want, but we're not doing any of those today. So I'm going to click on next. Now you can do a description if you like. And you can also name the rule as well, but that's pretty straightforward for me. But if you're working in an environment with many text, you may want to give this a more easily identifiable name. So let's click on create. All right, so now you see right here we have our deny rule. So it denies everyone the ability to launch Adobe. But there's one more step we need to do. So I'm going to come over here to System Services. And the service that we're after is Application Identity. So right here, I'm going to right click that, go to Properties. And we want to define this policy and make sure that it's automatic. So let's go ahead and click OK. So now the startup is automatic, but you need that in order to enforce the AppLocker policy. That service needs to be running on target machines for it to pull that policy down. All right. Okay, so we've completed configuring this GPO. So I'm going to go ahead and close the Group Policy Management Editor. All right, and we're going to link this to the OU in question. So I have one for domain computers. So I'm going to right click, link existing GPO, and we're going to select the AppLocker policy we just made. So that way it's associated with the domain computers in the lab. So we can close this down, close this down. I'm going to open up Active Directory here just to show the OU. So right here, we have domain computers, HR, management, manufacturing, and sales. And if we minimize that, we say those are the machines that are part of the domain. Okay, so for the policy to take effect, I'm going to reboot one of the target machines. So I'm going to come over to HR. And since it's a computer policy, it would be applied at boot, so we'd have to restart anyway. If we just did a GP update, the service, you know, the application identity service would pull that down, but it wouldn't apply the AppLocker policy to the machine. Okay, so it's back up. Gonna go ahead and log in to the target machine HR. Okay, and just to confirm that the policy did pull down, if it lets me. Okay, well I had to reboot it again. The machine's acting a little funny today, but we'll go ahead and open Adobe Acrobat. And as we can see now that when we try to open it, we get greeted with this message. This app has been blocked by your system administrator. Contact your system administrator for more info. That's it for this video. We saw how we can leverage AppLocker to prevent the use of unwanted applications in our environment. Also, how we can use group policy to manage this policy in a central location. In summary, AppLocker can be a valuable tool for enhancing security in environments where strict control over the execution of applications is required. such as corporate networks, government organizations, and other high security settings. It helps prevent unauthorized software from running, reducing the risk of malware infections and other security threats. In the next video, we'll get into IPsec. All resources from this video will be linked in the description. If you haven't already and digging the content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.
I want the finer things in my life, so I hustle.